Hello, welcome to Cool Trip Walks. This is your host, Tom. I am the presenter for the channel. Let me introduce myself. Hi there. We've got a cool trip for you today that we're going to walk, and we are located in Beaufort, South Carolina. This is the low country of South Carolina, and we'll talk a little bit as we go and walk through the town and see what we can find. This is just a little taste of the ocean side of Beaufort. I'm not sure, well, this is obviously a river that goes out to the ocean. So as we can see over here, some remnants of another hurricane, not Helene. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But over here, we have I just happened to find this, a boat that ran aground, and I'm guessing that was probably from Hurricane Debbie that came through a few weeks before Helene menaced the southeast. So we're going to go and see what else we can see, but one of the things I wanted to point out is we're going to see a lot of this, which is really old trees with the Spanish moss. You can't get more southern than that. So I'm going to walk over here and kind of introduce the channel. Again, my name is Tom, and Cool Trip Walks is a virtual scenery channel for treadmill walkers, as well as something hopefully is useful for those that want to do some travel research. So, as I stated at the top, we are in Beaufort, South Carolina, and we chose to come here this weekend, namely because it is one of the few places in the South where you have a lot of antebellum architecture left. And that would be homes and buildings from pre-Civil War times, as most fell victim to the war. So there's not a whole lot of old buildings left. So you'll find old buildings, but it's usually post-war. And as I've mentioned before on the channel, I grew up in the Northeast of the U.S. and lived in the Massachusetts, Rhode Island areas, and obviously Plymouth landed in Massachusetts. So we had colonial history all around us. I had a house down the street from where I grew up that was from the 1600s, and you kind of turn a blind eye to it. And then I relocated to the South about 20 years ago, and you almost forget that they are of these original 13 colonies. But there just isn't a whole lot of really old buildings left, and that was because of the Civil War. And if we delve into the colonial history a little bit, Beaufort is actually the second oldest town in South Carolina, being incorporated around 1710, although European visitors are reported having been here in the 1500s after Jamestown. Its location in the Low Country, above the Spanish holdings of Florida, was strategic for non-Spanish Europeans. So Pirates of the Caribbean, or Caribbean, had some history in the Southeast here. Blackbeard, I believe, was found to be, or was finally stopped off the coast of North Carolina. Now, take a look at this big tree here. There are some giant old trees here, and you just have to think what kind of history has happened while they've been here. So we chose this mainly so that we could see these beautiful buildings. And we get here and we found out there's a shrimp festival happening at the same time. So if we can, we'll swing by that. However, there are bands playing. And that creates challenges for post-editing. So I may not be able to go where I wanted to go just because of the music copyrights. So we'll still have a great walk around the town. Now, as far as where we are, we started off on Bay Street, and we're continuing to follow along Bay Street. So that we can see all the homes, because that's where they're primarily located. And it is a hot one. So today we are early October. It is 78 degrees, 26 degrees Celsius, and it is noon. So what I've noticed is even though the temperatures haven't been overly hot here, like, it's not 90s or hundreds, but the humidity from the coast definitely makes it feel a lot hotter than it actually is. So can be very quickly just sitting and sweating versus having to really work up a sweat at this temperature. There's a grand old good tree. This is where we're going to get into a lot more of the big homes.
I like those.
So I guess they're magnolia trees. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, please post in the discussion below. We have a property being restored here. Glad to see them working on the garden. And this tree amazed me over on the right here. Just how huge that trunk is. It's harder to tell on camera, but it is gigantic. Sorry for swinging the camera around. Another historic property here. This one's really tucked away, but they've got a beautiful front garden. And several of the homes here have been turned into Airbnb, well, not Airbnbs, bed and breakfasts. So it'd be a cool place to stay. We actually located in a hotel not far from Bay Street. And, I'll put that on camera a little bit later, but it was actually an old motor hotel, which wouldn't normally be an attraction to us, but it has been really restored and looks really amazing. It's not too bad to be inside too, but it's really central to things. And if I can, I'd like to help the people who made that investment succeed. Getting some water views. Now, one of the other things Beaufort is known for is besides the housing, it's scenery, right? So we can see the coastal scene here. So I'm going to do a quick mic adjustment. Sorry for the noise. And that has been featured in a lot of movies. So two that are more famous than the others would be The Prince of Tides, which personally I have not seen, but that was filmed here. And then numerous scenes from the film Forrest Gump was also filmed here. So one of the islands, there's two nearby, Hunting and Fripp Island, and I guess it wasn't one of those two, but the Vietnam camp scenes were filmed in the area. And then looks to me, with the reedy grass out there, maybe some of the shrimp boat scenes were filmed here as well. This is one of the restored bed and breakfasts, which is amazing to look at. The Spanish moss cover tree. That was a real lucky find, and I think I might duck in over here. Just to change it up a little bit. We have some Clemson University fans here. They have a big American football team. And I'm going to head over to Bay Street again. I just wanted to get away from the noise a little bit. And there's a few old homes back here as well. So Beaufort also had additional history. It was recaptured by the North fairly early on in the Civil War, and probably again to its seaside location, and quickly became a haven for escaped slaves in the war. So there is a museum here because the North started an effort to educate the freed people, so they could live their best lives. And that facility is still here, at least it shows up on the map. It's a National Historic Place. So I'm definitely going to be walking that way today. And it had post-war utility as well. I think this is where I thought I'd cross. Yep.
Like the mirror.
We are coming around to the backside of the festival, but this is still Bay Street here. So we're back on Bay Street. We have a very old building that's been restored into a Best Western. And they have done a fantastic job of maintaining their old Main Street type vibe here in Beaufort. And they do considerably have considerable preservation efforts here. So yes, this says it right here, second oldest town in South Carolina, December 20th, 1710. And I am not hearing any kind of music at the moment, so we're going to go over to the water when we get there, but kind of a distance. Not putting a lot of people who didn't ask to be on camera. But trust me, we won't miss a lot except some shopping tents over here. Well, I might have misspoken. They're talking away. This is a really magnificent bed and breakfast over here. Or Bay City Treasures. It's not a bed and breakfast, but they've kept it in good repair. The nice thing is, as you're walking down the street, Beaufort, um, we've noticed here on Bay Street, anyways, a really good breeze, so it does help with the temperature. And we had lunch right here yesterday. It is paninis on the waterfront, but it definitely had some other function in the past. The Beaufort Bank, as it is recorded in the edifice. And, looks like I'm going to have some fun in post. All right. So yeah, as far as visiting Beaufort, we came on Thursday night. This is filmed over a weekend. We messed around yesterday, mainly on on Bay Street here, and they have a playground that my kids enjoyed thoroughly. So we did that. And then today is just more casual exploration. I don't know if we're going to go find the beach afterwards or what we're going to do, but walking along here is definitely fun.
Very beautiful. Very good.
Beaufort Glass. It's a very cool place. Should go in there.
You able to get the ice cream one?
So Beaufort Glass proprietor started about 9 years ago and then has relocated here to Bay Street. And they are a curator of glassware from artisans around the country. And apparently also have some recycled plastic art as well. And a lot of it looked like some of it looked like Murano style glass from Italy, as far as some of the glassware they had. The bowls on the ceiling also was reminiscent of that.
That's cute.
I'm going to cross over here. We're going to be crossing a bit of streets today. Speaking of which, we're going to do that now. so we can get a bay view here. But also more homes. Anywhere with preserved cannons is fun fodder for kids, and my boys enjoyed coming here yesterday. Some old defensive points. And this island would lead to that hunting island, I think it's called. And yes, it is Hunting Island and Fripp Island. So I imagine there's another bridge somewhere for Fripp. And what's interesting is this is a, I guess I'll put in air quotes, drawbridge. But instead of going up, the center part there will actually rotate. So I caught that on video yesterday. Probably try to edit that up and release it as a short. But definitely a very cool, serene place to walk. Now, we haven't seen much impact from Hurricane Debbie here, other than the boat at the beginning. So that was good. We are literally a week out from Hurricane Helene hitting North Carolina. And Cool Trip Walks is based in North Carolina, fortunately not in an area that was impacted heavily. Unfortunately, the state is just beginning to grasp with the mammoth challenge ahead of it. And my family and I have enjoyed Western North Carolina over the years. Asheville has been a very favorite place of ours to go and visit. My wife went to Boone for university with Appalachian University. So we're just heartbroken at the devastation of these beautiful places that have just been wiped off the map to no fault of their own. And so I've put a post on the social part of YouTube. You know, I want to implore anybody who can, please contribute to the Red Cross for any victim of Hurricane Helene. But, you know, they're going to need it not just today, a week out, but a month out or 2 months out. So I'm going to put the URL below and on the description to this video. But and one of the other organizations, which honestly, the man, you know, who created it, awesome idea, and he's had such a tremendous positive impact. And I always get it wrong, but World Central Kitchen, created by, you know, world famous chef Jose Andres. Yeah, they get out to the disaster sites. They provide good meals so that people can maintain their strength, mental health, to face the enormity of the challenge they have. So I'm going to also put that URL below and ask that you make a contribution if you can. And any amount will certainly help. And this is the City Loft Hotel. This is that restored motor hotel that I was talking about. Sorry to kind of rush by it, but we have a lot of music in the area, which presents editing challenges. So hopefully that won't rear its head. We have the public library over here, which is a nice state building. Always best to cross the light, I find. So we're going to try and do that. I haven't been over this part yet. Up Beaufort. Oh, there's some nice homes. Wondering, we're going to come back here. And I think I'm going to pause and cross the street. And we're back. A little bit busy there, so I just wanted to cross safely. Didn't want to make you wait for your walk. And I'm not entirely sure what this fortified looking place is. Some sort of visitor center. Looks like a castle. Reminds me of a building that is now a Hilton property. I think it's an Embassy Suite in Charleston. And Charleston is the oldest town in South Carolina. And we've stayed in that actually. It kind of looks like an old fortification or castle. And this is what I was looking for. And this has been turned into a national park property and helped in the efforts of Reconstruction after the Civil War. And it's really cool to have this here. And I think I'm going to go and explore the other side of that busy street because there are more homes that way. So I'll walk you back that way and then we'll keep on exploring and see what we can find. Also with the green here. This is a site with the Spanish moss, which is technically not moss. It's an air plant, so it gets most of its nutrients out of the air. I want to say I took a tour in Charleston, and occasionally it does have to get raked out if it gets too plentiful. But it's a symbiotic relationship with the plants. It likes to hang on. But eventually, obviously, it can block some leaves required for photosynthesis. That is not optimal for its host. And then I clean it out a little bit. These are some really nice homes with color. Walking around Italy last couple of years, and certainly Charleston. Just seems like Americans have forgotten color. Safe colors, right, that are on homes these days. Things that'll sell, obviously. But there's something to be said about nice, cheerful, colorful homes. This house is being painted. Speaking of painting, we're going on to East Street now. At this point, I haven't been here, so we're just kind of exploring. I read, obviously, Bay Street was a key point for old homes. And then a neighborhood over here on this side. And this is still part of the historic district. Look at that tree. I like the low clearance sign on it. Go down there, except it doesn't look like it goes very far, so we'll keep walking. If you've happened to been to Beaufort and you'd like to share any comments, please do so below. And please, if you could give our channel a like and a subscribe. We are trying to grow, and we appreciate everybody that comes on board for the walks. Now we have a nice fountain over here. I'm going to get closer. It looks like I can. Yep, a little bit of a walkway here. Oh, wow, look at that home. I am going to go down that street there, part of North Street, but I do want to get a view down here. Because at Cool Trip Walks, we do like water features. It's been a big focus, I guess, of some of our walks. Just the light. The light, I think, just plays with water just so nice, you know, lets you relax a little bit in this life. And there we go. Cool tidal pond of some sort here. The main bay or rivers beyond the street there. I think we'll cut into Hamilton Street here. Let's see what kind of homes we get. Wow, look at that tree. Not the oldest of the ones we've seen, but it is very elegant. My wife and I are very big fans of the double porches here in the South. We had a developer where we live that was pre-pandemic, pre-housing bubble burst that used to build a lot of them. And unfortunately, we just haven't gotten one yet, but maybe we will someday. We did get a nice porch on our house, though, so we can enjoy that. All the Spanish moss going down the way. A lawnmower that way, so we'll keep walking. Definitely a newer home, but it definitely matches in well. And this is really fun. You know, one of the things that they tell you to do if you research it and you head to Venice, Italy, is they tell so many different programs, YouTubes, and books tell you just get lost in the city. It's a safe place to be. You know, you cross bridges and canals and you just go and have an adventure by getting lost. You don't really have any plan there. And that's kind of what we're doing here today. And you get to see a lot of cool things. Palm trees are a lot more common here in South Carolina, especially as we're about 20 miles from Savannah, Georgia, so we're not far from Georgia. There's some that are resilient in our area of North Carolina, but it is a gardening struggle at times because we do get a taste of winter every year. So you get a good palm tree experience here in Beaufort. But yeah, as far as tourism, you could probably realistically get away with visiting Beaufort for a day. We're doing it over 2 full days, which is plenty for us with little guys who don't have the length of cultural investigation that their parents do. But there are the other locations that are certainly not far from here would be Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and then, as I mentioned, Savannah, Georgia. So that's 3 really cool places to visit. And it's important not to confuse Beaufort, South Carolina, with Beaufort, North Carolina, both spelled exactly the same, both on the coast. So I appreciate that one town tries to pronounce it differently than the other town. So this is Beaufort, South Carolina. And if I'm mispronouncing it backwards, I apologize, but I think I got it. All right. Let's finish by walking down the street. And obviously, one of the biggest towns, not really that far away, probably be maybe an hour and change, would be Charleston. Certainly recommend visiting there. They have some really good food there. And it's very beautiful too. There's some squirrels up in the palm tree. Oh, I'm going to finish over here. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this walk here in Beaufort. As always, I hope you achieved your workout goals. Please, over the coming weeks and months, if you would be so generous to consider donating for the victims of Hurricane Helene. They're going to need all kinds of help that we don't even know about yet. So we'd impart on you that please try to do that. But I hope you have an excellent day and come back real soon and visit our channel again. Take care.